So I developed a new sense of confidence that I can deal with things, and when things are hard, remain calm and you'll be fine.
The first day is always super interesting because we always tell our participants that there is no program, because then they constantly are being surprised. Some have a background in cold exposure or high performance techniques, but a lot of them don't. They're just curious. The day one is like building a foundation of a house, and building that foundation, one of the parts is that we don't tell the program.
With the reason
to become more flexible, because you can plan your day, but in most cases back home, your day also constantly changes. And to become more resilient in those changes, you need flexibility, and that's what we train here. For example, we start in the morning reasonably relaxed, explaining certain type of high performance breathing techniques. But then give the first surprise, and in this case today, and it changes every time, so I can share it with you. Today it was like coming up in your shorts, no shirt, barefoot, and we go out. And going out means here going out with temperature around freezing point. So we learn them a breathing technique to handle that cold situation.
We create the circumstances in which they can challenge themselves. And of course, it's not, you see the ice, right? You see the ice all the time and the snow. And this week we don't have ice and snow. I'm quite happy with that, actually. Temperatures are still really low. But it's not about that. Again, the cold is a circumstance we use. It's a context we use for people to experience themselves. And like you can meditate for hours a day, and you can read books about spirituality, and you can do Tony Robbins things and stuff like that. But you can still kind of cheat yourself. Like you can meditate and still be snoozing off, or still be doing your to-do lists in the back of your head, or just sit there and like, I'm super enlightened. But if you go into the cold water, there's just absolutely no cheating yourself. You just have to be there, and you have to feel where you are, and you have to focus into yourself.
Where I live, there was a guy who was doing a training, one-day training. So I went to that, and it was my first time sitting in an ice bath. My body felt phenomenal after I got out. So I went back and I was talking to my wife. I was telling her how great I felt, and I said, I want to get a group of friends that we can go to one of these trainings that they do. And literally 2 days later, out of the blue, one of my friends emailed me that's here on the trip and said, we're going to Iceland for this trip. Do you want to go? And it's actually my 40th birthday on Monday. So I'm going to be gone for the trip. So I asked my wife if she minded, and she said, this is a once in a lifetime thing. It was serendipitous. You need to go. So that's how I ended up here. Today's breath work, it was really intense. It was kind of what I was looking for. I felt tingling. I felt like a real sense of euphoria, followed by a lot of relaxation, which is hard for me to get.
So my why was to discover powers that are latent inside of me, and to cultivate those powers and to use them to lead a healthier, happier, more fulfilling and longer life. So this is my second time. I did Poland before, and what I found was it went a lot better than I expected. Poland went great too, but it was a little bit more jarring. It was kind of like a deer in headlights. Whereas this experience, I found that I was able to click into that mindset of just be with yourself and it was something I was almost able to turn on and off.
I remember I came into the room by myself. I was just panicking in my room, and I was like, how am I gonna survive all this cold? And I had no idea what was going to happen. And then Ingvild and Daniel came into the room, and they asked me, how do you feel? Well, I got kind of teary and panicking. And I was just so nervous. And they were like, it's gonna be okay. But I slept really well. Then this morning we did the breathing, and then that helped me a lot, I think, to get calm.
That was the first exercise?
It was the first exercise of the day, and they probably did that on purpose.
Yeah.
So that helped. I actually felt during every exercise, at some point I didn't feel the cold. So then you're like, well, if I can feel that, then I can handle all those things. Yeah, I think walking in the water was the hardest because we were walking on rocks in the water to get us deep where you could sit down. Then sitting down was pretty hard, but then we just had to breathe out and then sit, so don't think too much. We had to do it with a buddy, which was nice. We were just holding hands. They were sitting, and at some point I was fine. It'd be awesome if you can do that all the time.
My experience of it was the water was cold. I expected it to be cold. There was nothing unexpected. The experience I had was I immediately, when I was submerged in the water, instead of thinking about, oh, this is cold, oh my gosh, this hurts, I was thinking, how long are other people staying in? And so I got really egoic about it. I got competitive about it, and I immediately came out because I had the wrong intention. I felt I was completely missing the point, because I would have muscled through and sit there the longest. And so I ended up getting out after.
And was the same thing going on when you're with the hands?
No, because it was timed. So I wouldn't take my hands out ever, because it was timed, and so it was easy. And so, but the undeterminate time, I became more competitive.
Okay.
So I think that's not the point of this exercise. So tomorrow I look forward to trying to be in my own space and get through the experience, with my partner or alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
wow.
Yeah. It was a great experience.
We build buddies. You have the two people working together, and usually they don't know each other before they come here. So we mix it up. That really helps to interconnect. Like, people who knew each other have to work with other people, and it helps to interconnect the group. And that builds this strong layer. But of course it's alive. But the aliveness just becomes more because they start to know each other. And so for tomorrow it's going to be fun to play with them a little more. And they probably will hate us at some points in the week because we will challenge them, and then they will love us afterwards.
What I can say about today is that today, the theme of today was going back to the core, and that means to go back to a power that is already inside of you. The program is built in a way that everybody with every physical condition can participate.